Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Kechidori.
Hey, welcome back. It's Yeukai once again. Super excited about today's conversation. Now, I know some of you are saying, man, you're always excited about this, but today is totally a different day because the gentleman I have on the show today is somebody who breathes and does this all the time. In fact, if you go to his website, which we'll give toward the end of our conversation here, you'll see countless testimonies of people raving about the work that Fletcher Ellingson does. In fact, the result that he produced for his clients. So I'm excited about today because I know if you listen intently with a clear conscience, you are going to find something that you can apply today or even tomorrow in your business. And here's what I want you to do. Whatever resonates with you that Fletcher's going to be saying, write it down, just like I do. And here's what's going to happen. When you write it down, you enable your subconscious to take note of what is important, and then you can implement it later on. Now, you say, you always say this, brother, all the time. I know, but here's the thing. This is what is proven to work. Write things down and make sure you follow it up with action. Really brings results. So we want you to get results. Fletcher, I'm going on and on about things now. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I am looking forward to this conversation.
Amazing. Now, before we jump on this recording, you and I were talking about where you live. Maybe tell everybody where you live and a little bit about your story, specifically how you ended up doing what you're doing today.
Yeah, you bet. So I live in a small resort town in north central Washington State. It's called Chelan. It's on a 50-mile long lake. And Seattle and all the surrounding big city people, they come over here in the summer months to play and recreate. So our town blows up like 5 times as big as it normally is. And then we get the town back to ourselves for the rest of the year. And it's a beautiful, beautiful town with 4 seasons. It's when people hear Washington State, they think rain, but we actually get 300 days of sunshine where we live. We're in north central Washington. So it's a coveted area to live in.
Amazing.
And so you wanted to hear a little bit, just a nutshell version of how I got into doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Because you've got a very unique story and you have pursued your goal from a very young age. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. In 4th grade, we had a gentleman come in and give a presentation. He was an inspirational speaker. He was there actually because he hit a child with his car. So the circumstances under which he was thrust into this passion of his was because of a tragedy, and the child lived. But he was out there promoting these stickers, so people could put them on their backpacks and their coats, so at nighttime, if a car's lights would light them up, right? And so he gave every single one of the students one of these stickers, and I put that sticker on my bedpost. And that sticker had a positive message on it, and it said, "Start the day with PMA, positive mental attitude, and expect something wonderful to happen."
Awesome.
Well, Yeukai, I carried that message with me my entire life, and that set me on the trajectory of becoming an inspirational speaker and coach myself. In elementary school, I was reading The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, and I still remember my dad coming out on the steps. He said, "Fletcher, what are you reading there?" And I said, "It's The Power of Positive Thinking." And he just stopped in his tracks. He's like, "By Norman Vincent Peale?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You are an odd duck." But I've always been an entrepreneur. I've been a professional magician for 30 years. I was a street performer down in Seattle. And I've always been in front of audiences. And then for about 12 years, I traveled extensively speaking around giving internet marketing seminars all over the United States.
Awesome.
And I realized during that time that all these thousands of entrepreneurs that I was meeting, they all had the same issues.
Right.
I was seeing these patterns, and I was so blessed to interact with so many entrepreneurs that allowed me to kind of really see these patterns. It was same thing over and over and over again. And I began coaching them. And about 5 years ago, I finally made the leap. And now I'm just coaching entrepreneurs full time.
Absolutely love that. And one of the things I appreciate about you is your belief in the practice of feeling good in business and life, how you help business owners to intentionally create this practice. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Yeukai. This to me is one of the most important things in my life. And I believe that the practice of feeling good is the key to healing our earth, to healing our world, to bringing a greater workability amongst all nations. It's this, because when we feel good, we have access to progress.
Absolutely.
When we feel good, and people say, well, what do you mean by feeling good? Do you mean happy? Well, I don't necessarily mean happy, but I mean confident. I mean resourceful. I mean capable. I mean feeling flexible, feeling inspired, feeling safe, feeling that life is going to work out for me, feeling connected, open, right? All these things are under the umbrella of feeling good. And here's the deal. Sadly, many people are very practiced at feeling bad, feeling badly, feeling poorly, feeling insecure, right?
Right.
And it isn't that they're looking to do that intentionally, but they've become practiced at it because it's been modeled for them. It's what they watch, it's what they read. And so what I help my clients do is rewire their thinking and rewire their nervous system so they can begin producing very radically different outcomes in their life.
Amazing. I love that. Because when you feel good, you're open to possibilities. It is incredible.
Yes.
And it is that open to possibility that gives you hope. And once you have the hope, you can try things. And you and I know that nothing happens until action happens. And when you're in the process of trying things, that law of cause and effect can come into effect. And you begin to see results. Once you have those results, they reinforce that everything is working out together for you. I love one of your beliefs there, that life is working out for our good. Expand on that for a moment.
Oh, yes. Thanks for asking that, because this is such a powerful topic, and it's at the core of my course. We worked with our clients to lay down a new belief system, a new feeling of certainty that life is always working out for us. No matter, even if it doesn't look like it's working out, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't sound or taste like it, we transform a person's, again, their thinking and their nervous system to trust that life is working out. And when we do that, we move from a place of insecurity and fear into trust and calm and positive expectation. It's like tapping into resourcefulness. Yeah. And if you can do that on a regular basis, well, then what becomes possible is just incredible.
I love that. Having this positive expectation. For those who are listening, I know you already understand about this because we talk about it all the time. And I love for you, if you have taken a step back in becoming that person who believes and is always expecting the best out of life, to get back into the game and begin to look at that. Because when you do that, everything changes. Fletcher, let's dive deep into talking about money, because a lot of people today want to hear about money. You have been helping a lot of people, as I understand it, with the concept of moving from financial struggle to predictable income. What do you mean specifically by this?
Yeah, so great question. So yeah, because a lot of entrepreneurs, it's feast or famine for many of them, right?
I know that firsthand, brother. I know that firsthand.
Yeah, you and me both. And it's a roller coaster ride. Yeah. And what I help my clients do is look and see those times where you have an influx of money. What I help them look and see, what were you doing before that happened, and what were you doing during it? So we kind of reverse engineer. And the answer it's always they were managing their thinking. They had a positive expectation. They were feeling good about themselves. They were feeling good about the world, and they were therefore in massive action. Now, the other thing that is usually present, and this is the difference maker, is that they were asking for the business, and they were making the outbound calls. They were in action for outreach. This is usually, and then what we do, we oftentimes will look and see when the money is not coming in, what was your way of being? What was your level of action? What was your expectation? How were you feeling about your life and the world? And it is night and day difference, night and day. And so if you want predictable income, it starts with managing your thinking. It starts with trusting, because let me ask you a question. Is there an absolute abundance of money and wealth in the world today?
Absolutely. Categorically,
Yes.
without a doubt, Fletcher. In
Yes.
fact, the natural world points out there is an abundance in everything, including money. In fact, don't get me started on this one. Because there is more money in print today than has ever been in the world at any one point in time. It is absolutely crazy.
Exactly.
Anyway, you carry on.
And it's always in circulation. It's always circulating. It's always ebbing and flowing. And so when we realize that, we have to release the story of scarcity.
Yeah.
We can't hold on to it. There is an abundance of wealth, and it's constantly in circulation. And so you and I both know that there are clients out there that are waiting to work with us.
Absolutely.
There are clients we haven't even met yet that we don't even know about, but we are going to be working with them. And so that type of mindset, first of all, is encouraging. It's inspiring to know that, there's people out there that I'm going to be working with and I don't even know them yet. Yep. Wow. What a beautiful thing. That's an example of trusting that life is always working out for us, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if we can spend just one more minute on this,
Sure.
because this is the really critical thing. Because where most entrepreneurs get stuck is they stop the outreach and they stop asking for the business because, and this is as well as I do, we get stuck in fear, and fear brings a halt to progress. And so one of the things that I spent a long time doing was working on mastering this thing called fear, managing fear. And so I began doing a year-long rejection experiment where I put myself into situations where I made ridiculous, audacious requests of individuals. And they should have, in all occasions, they should have said absolutely, categorically, no, I will not do that. But that was not what happened. People were saying yes to these ridiculous requests that I was making, and there were a couple things that had to be in place. Number one, I had to be absolutely frightened to make this request. I had to feel so uncomfortable that it would make me sweat, and I would want to leave and chicken out and change my mind. And I did a couple times chicken out. Okay, so these requests were so frightening that I would just start sweating. I would get pitted out, but I would make the requests, and people more often than not would say yes. Wow. And so that's how I got my television show. That's how I led a seminar, an impromptu seminar down in Mexico for 50 agents for timeshares who I'd never met before. I was down there vacationing, and I made this ridiculous request, and they let me come in and present to them. The things that people have said yes to, it's how I actually started doing business with $1 billion real estate company in the United States. They didn't know who I was, but I was willing to be rejected. I was willing to get the no. And I made the call, I reached out, and the answer was yes.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Well, if you're joining us, we are talking to Fletcher, who is a master at helping business owners really live a life on their terms by truly following their dreams and believing for the best to come in their lives. And in fact, we have summarized one way of creating your future by creating results predictably. I love what Fletcher has shared with us here. After looking back, you could see exactly what people do when they're getting massive success and what they are not doing before things fall apart. So if you want more answers to the questions around this topic, you may want to reach out to Fletcher for more information. Fletcher, let's talk about how you manage your mind, because that's one of the things we covered there earlier on. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper for those who want to create that predictable financial security. How do you manage your mind?
Boy, this is a golden question. I love it. So I'm a big believer in affirmations and incantations. So one of the things, I fill my mind with this stuff. And some people say affirmations don't work. Well, that in itself is an affirmation, right? Affirmations don't work is an affirmation. So I actually say affirmations work. They fill me up. They allow me to work. They allow me to navigate life with greater ease and joy. So let me give you some of my affirmations that I say to myself on a daily basis. Life is always working out for me. I'm resourceful, capable, and flexible. I meet the moment with a light heart, and I navigate the now with ease and joy. Let me tell you, this one's a little bit longer, but anytime before I come on a show like this, or before I speak to an audience, or before I outreach to an individual client that I want to work with, I always say, I now call forth my subconscious mind to guide me emotionally, energetically, intellectually, in connecting with this person in such a powerful manner that they get to see what's possible if they change and invest in my transformative services. I mean, so these are the things, because what this does, Yeukai, is that it readies my nervous system. And when my nervous system is ready, it tells my mind to start focusing on these positive feeling thoughts. Again, when I feel good, when I feel confident, when I feel positive expectation, I have access to progress. I have access to more exciting conversations. I become a better listener, right? It puts me in a position that's ready, willing, and open to connect.
Incredible. I'll tell you a story, how I've used the affirmation. I don't do it every day. I have to be open with you about that. But, more often than not, maybe 3 times a week, I do my affirmation, especially the one on finances. When I started that, it was through Bob Proctor's training. And he introduced me to the affirmation where he says, I'm now grateful now that money comes to me in ever-increasing quantities from ever-increasing multiple sources at an ever-increasing pace. When I say things like that, it's amazing. Straight away, I begin to think, you know what, I may not have the finance for this particular project right now, but you know what, I'm grateful that money comes to me in ever-increasing quantities, from ever-increasing multiple sources, in ever-increasing speed. Just putting myself in that state of belief changes my attitude. If I'm going into a sales call or into a conversation with a potential business owner or business client of mine, I am expecting it to work out. It truly is a game changer. And thanks to what I call him now, Uncle Bob Proctor, for introducing me to that. Not only that, I'm a person of faith. I've got some scriptures that I cite for myself, one of which says, for we know that God is able to make all grace abound towards me, so that all things work together for me. I can go on and on and on and on. And okay, there may be some people without affiliation to the scriptures, to the Bible, so to speak, but the concept is still the same. It works all the time. And I'm glad you pointed that out. But I want to jump on, because of our time here, to talk about how do you release the scarcity mentality?
How do you release the scarcity mentality?
Correct.
Excellent question. So again, people who have a scarcity mentality are practiced at a scarcity mentality, right? So what people who are fearful are usually practiced at being fearful, right? People who are generous, they are practiced at being generous. People who are confident are practiced. It all comes down to the practice. So the people who have a scarcity mindset are practiced at it. The very first thing to do is to identify the belief that you want to have, because somebody who thinks
beautiful.
Yeah, the person who thinks scarcity all the time, they have a belief system that money doesn't grow on trees, that doesn't happen for me, that happens for other people, I never get a break. So that's what they're practiced at. Now, there's nothing good, bad, or right or wrong about that. It just doesn't serve their life very well. So now what they do, the first step is to simply identify a belief system that you want to have, not that you have currently, but you would like to have it. Like, I would love to believe that money comes easily to me. Money flows. I would love to believe that. Now, I'm not saying you're going to believe it. You're writing down the beliefs that you want to have. Yeah. And then what we do is we take the person through a stair-stepping case of just tiny little 1% movements a day of taking an inventory of the blessings that you do have, right? I mean, so you're familiar with, so like, you're starting super simple. Like, do you have food in the cupboard? Do you have, and then you're interrupting the scarcity mindset. You're constantly interrupting it, and your mind will try to go back to it, but and then how we do it's just like you said. You write it down. With these new beliefs that you want to have, write them down. I write stuff on my mirror in my bathroom, so I see it every time I'm in there, right? And I've done this so much in my life that it's now impossible for me to go back to my old scarcity mindset. It's literally impossible. If I tried to go down there, it feels uncomfortable, weird, and I don't believe it because I know that I attract wealth and abundance and success into my life. I just know that, and it happens on a daily basis. That reminds me of my other favorite incantation. Good things are lined up, stacked up, and showing up daily.
Ooh, I love that. Absolutely love that. I have to copy that one, bro. It's really good. They're truly lined up for sure, stacked up and showing up every single day. Can you imagine what your life would be like, Bill, if you're listening to this? If you take that on and begin to believe it, you may just do it for 30 days consistently. And this is where you have to be very intentional, be focused, engage your brain, engage everything about you, ignore everything else and dare to believe that life truly can work out the way you want. And I'm glad that Fletcher is bringing this concept for you and me so we can apply them in our lives today. Fletcher, we are running out of time here, but there's something that I wanted you perhaps to talk about, which is massive action. For people to get those predictable results, have to take massive action. I remember when I launched, this year I launched my training on how to start, scale, and monetize your podcast. There was a week that I had to take massive action and, then closed a lot of clients straight away. And they became my clients in a very short space of time, which was incredible. I had $1,000 days, which is, was wonderful, for something that we've created over a very short space of time. And I can, look back now, it was because of the massive action. Talk to us about the concept of massive action. And if somebody's not doing it, how can they get started?
Yeah, really good. So for instance, I'm going to be on 36 podcasts this year. And so I'm on track to be on 36 podcasts. That didn't happen accidentally, right?
Right.
It takes reaching out. So it takes researching, identifying which ones you want to be on. So massive action requires some research, but more than research, it requires action. So that means literally picking up the phone, writing the email, and don't keep this to yourself. Put it out there. The way we create is through our words. So tell somebody, tell your spouse, tell your partner, tell a friend, I'm going to get this outcome. And just that's such a powerful step to announce it to the world, to announce it to somebody, because now you have accountability. Right. And you don't want to look bad, right? None of us, we want to do what we say, and we don't want to look bad. So when that friend asks, he's like, hey, have you been working on outreach? You can say, yeah, but get leverage on yourself. Like one of my clients who really wanted to make a change, but it was a big deal. It was what she was asking herself to do. So I said, you know what? Send me a check for $500 to the presidential campaign that you don't want to win. And if you are not your word, I'm going to send it to the person you don't want to win. And then you have to go on Facebook and post that you just financially supported the candidate that you can't stand. So she wrote me a check for $500 made out to their campaign. And did she get action? Did she get leverage on herself and take action? Absolutely.
I love that. I love the word that you used there, leverage. When you create enough leverage, it doesn't matter what it is, you get yourself to do something. You get yourself to take massive action. One way I get myself enough leverage, just like you do, I have a coach, just like the lady who you get to work with. I also have got business partners. I also have got my clients that are truly waiting for me to serve them. Now, if I was left on my own, there are certain things that I would not do because I don't enjoy doing them. But the thought of letting down my coach, whom I'm already paying a good chunk of money, it's like, I'm paying for free. I might as well get on and do this. I'm not wasting any money.
Exactly.
I've got my business partners who are counting on me. They trusted to be in a business with me. I call these your business advisors or your inner circle. You may not be business partner, but it'll be your inner circle, your board of directors, whoever they are. They will hold you accountable because you have to show up because they are showing up, you see. And on top of that, I've got my clients, people who have already given me money. That's why I'm a great believer in creating the training, getting paid before you create the training, so that you've got to create it now because the money is in the bank. So create enough leverage, whatever it is that you want to do. What can you put in place that is going to force you, in a nice way, to get the job done? And it's always amazing.
Exactly. And there's just one last thought on that, because you just reminded me of something. The only time that we can experience our personal power is when we've taken responsibility for our commitments.
Awesome.
Right? And that's what you just spoke to.
Oh, love that. Absolutely love that. For those who want to carry on learning from you, Fletcher, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can visit me at FletcherEllingson.com, www.FletcherEllingson.com, or the other domain name is thepracticeoffeelinggood.com. Thepracticeoffeelinggood.com. I got all sorts of free resources there. You can email me, and if you want to work together, let's work together. Let's get some radical results. I mean radical results.
Yes, something you'll be proud of. Absolutely. Well, Fletcher, you have brought some amazing things. One of the things that I'm going to take home and I'm going to practice is this rejection experience. I've never done it before, but I'm going to implement it. Maybe next time when you and I catch up, you could ask me, how are you doing? You look at me. I'm creating leverage right there. Have you noticed it?
Yes. Right on. I love it.
We definitely would love to have you come back and we talk about another really, really great topic which you focus on, which is how to move from management overwhelm to calm and focused. Would love for you to come and talk to our audience about that, maybe a week or 2 weeks from now, so that we can be a blessing to a lot of people. Final words. If what you have today is taken away from you, what is the number one thing that you want to have back fast?
The only thing that's coming to mind right now is I know this. The only thing I know to be true in my life is this: whatever I focus on, I feel. Whatever I focus on expands, and whatever I focus on, I attract. So clarity. I always want to have clarity.
All right, awesome. Always have clarity. Those are profound words. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to know more about what Fletcher teaches, go to this specific website. Just go straight to FletcherEllingson.com or thepracticeoffeelinggood.com, or you can find Fletcher on Facebook and other social media as well. And most importantly, you've spent quite a bit of time with us here today. Make it happen. Just pick one thing that Fletcher has shared with you, or maybe that I've shared with you, and implement it. Maybe come back to us and say something like, I have implemented this, these are the results, or I'm going to implement this. Let's make it happen. Look, we truly believe in you and in your ability and in your desire to create an extraordinary life. So with that said, I want to leave you with these words. That is, live well, live with passion, and know that the best is truly yet to come. Fletcher, once again, thank you so much for being here on the show.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Awesome. See you soon, guys. And by the way, I nearly forgot to tell people about the upcoming training. If you are interested in joining us on live on Clubhouse, where we'll be talking about podcast secrets, how to start, scale, and monetize your podcast, just reach out. There will be a link somewhere around the link here, so you can join us live every Friday and Saturday, where we'll teach you exactly how you can start a podcast like this one, so you can create for yourself credibility, get yourself new clients, and also cash. I call them 3 C's. All right, enough of that. Talk to you soon. I believe in you. Go make it happen. Thanks again, Fletcher. Goodbye for now.
You bet.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yeukai.businessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.